I need a hot nerd. I need a hot, tall nerd. Hot, tall nerd that like hyper fixates on something.
Alright, so we need to talk about this because apparently in 2025, every girl is like,
I want a nerd boyfriend.
well, I'm here to tell you, you do not want a nerd boyfriend. Not in the way you think you do. First of all, I grew up in a time where being a nerd was like a death sentence for your social life. You liked anime? You were weird. You played video games? You were wasting your life. Oh, now being a nerd is hot. Pop culture is basically built around nerd hobbies. Marvel movies, anime, video games. Being a nerd is like trendy now. People are out here saying, I want a nerd boyfriend who's tall, socially awkward, hyper fixated on something, and afraid of women. Is this a dating preference or you just customizing a video game character? You know what's funny? When people say nerd, they don't actually mean nerd. They mean Henry Cavill wearing glasses. In reality, the nerds are not that good looking. Big difference. Social media and reality are like night and day. On Instagram, you see a constant feed of tall, chiseled, well dressed guys, and people start thinking that's what most nerds look like. I mean, like, no, like, that's what most male models who watched one episode of Attack on Titan look like. You're seeing the filtered, hot version, not the respawn after 4 hours of Elden Ring version.
I'm not saying that it's wrong to find an attractive person attractive, but don't go on saying that this is what a nerd looks like.
Let me give you the reality. Most actual nerds, they're introverted, not tall, average height, or shorter, especially if they spent 15 years hunched over a keyboard. And yes, many have superiority complex. Not all, but a good chunk think they're the smartest motherfucker in the room because they know why Superman can beat Goku and why Reed Richards is the smartest guy in the whole universe.
Because they consume niche media and a part of a niche fan club, they think they're the smartest motherfucker alive. Having deep knowledge about a niche franchise that no one talks about makes them believe they're some kind of intellectual being among normies. Even after all of this, they're still human. And it's pretty sad to see how they live. When they see that girls are interested in nerds, they realize that girls aren't talking about them, but about guys who work out, tall, and look good even without the glasses.
Nerd used to be an insult. It was a social outcast label. Nobody wanted to be a nerd. These were kids bullied for liking Pokemon or playing video games for like hours and hours. And now the same people who would have laughed at them or ignored them are on Instagram thirsting for nerds. Imagine you've been bullied by people around you for watching anime, video games, or like liking comics, and then suddenly people are like, oh my god, nerds are so hot now. And you're like,
Okay, my time to shine, I guess.
and then you realize they don't mean you. They mean the gym rat Marvel fan with a jawline sharp enough to cut glass. And you're like,
Cool. Guess I'll go back.
I'll go back to how I used to live. Like, I'll go back to my Final Fantasy 15 raid. You know why people have this unrealistic image? Movies, TVs, and books. In every teen drama, the nerdy character is played by some stunning actor who's just wearing glasses, and that's supposed to make them a loser. You can't cast a guy who looks like a runaway model and tell me he's socially awkward. I mean, also, these stories are written by nerds. Of course, they're gonna glorify themselves. You think a nerd screenwriter is gonna make the nerd character short, smelly, and bad? They're gonna make him the most handsome and beautiful motherfucker in the story.
Girls being overly into nerdy guys is the same thing as guys being into goth girls. Like you don't have anything common with them. You just like the glorified version of what a nerd is from the series and movies. And you fantasize about having a nerd boyfriend who nerds out on comic books, anime, and video games. This fantasy of having a nerd boyfriend who tells you about his interests and the things he nerds out on, it looks really good in fantasy. But if you don't have anything in common, it'll soon piss you off. He's awkward and never felt the touch of a woman. Yeah, it can be pretty exciting when you romanticize about it, but it's not that romantic when it's happening all the time. It will get pretty awkward, and we all know how annoying that is. No one likes awkward silence. Of course, it might work sometimes, but not all the time. These characteristics might look attractive in movies and shows because they want it to be attractive. But in reality, most of the girls will get annoyed, and yeah, just because you like the character does not mean that you will be compatible with someone like that. Finding a fictional character in an actual person is the problem, because most people won't complete your checklist, and even if you manage to find someone like that, there is a higher chance that maybe it might not work out. I'd say find someone you're actually compatible with. Don't make a checklist about your perfect partner just because people on the internet are saying, I want my partner like this or that. Most of the time, people make this image of perfect partner from the internet because everyone is talking about it. So, yeah, that was my video. Thanks for watching.